Tshwane Mayor Solim Simanga has been elected the new DA Gauteng leader. He was elected during a virtual DA Gauteng Congress a short while ago. DA Gauteng MP Alfred Nel has been elected provincial chairperson and his deputy is Bongani Nkomo. We'll give you more on this later in the bulletin. Well, President Cyril Ramaphosa has suggested a ban on inflammatory language which propagates war. He was answering questions in the National Assembly this week, which marked the end of his questions and answers session in Parliament for this year. He defended government's policies aimed at empowering those previously disadvantaged, such as women.
President Ramaphosa faced tough questions from MPs, ranging from corruption, economy to social cohesion. He reiterated his government's resolve to stamp out corruption. Some MPs asked whether the government would scrap the policy of black economic empowerment.
For the past quarter of a century, we have, and the party you lead, Mr. President, has continued to keep South Africans divided on the basis of race. Now, I've taken great heart from what you've said today and by your answer to question 16, where you said we must see each other as South Africans first and other things after that. And yet we enforce racial quotas on all spheres of society. We judge people on the basis of race when they apply for jobs in the public sector. And BE billionaires have used race as a means to hijack empowerment and have crowded out the 30 million people who live in poverty in this country who need that empowerment the most. In Senegal, we see the result of what happens when a government keeps people apart. Race-based policies are tearing our country apart. Mr. President, would you, in light of what you've said today, commit yourself to non-racialism and ensuring that we scrap all policies that seek to divide South Africans based on something as arbitrary as their skin color? Thank you.
Our government is not a racist government. Our government seeks to promote the rights and interests of all. Our government seeks to promote the rights of the women of our country who over the years were the most oppressed. And so if we take steps to promote the interests of the women of our country, we are not being discriminatory against others. We are actually taking steps so that they too can reach a level of equality.
Commenting on the recent violent standoff in Senegal and at Brackenfell High School in Cape Town, President Ramaphosa called on South Africans to resolve their differences through dialogue and resist war talk.
No one in South Africa should be talking about war. War is a very dangerous phenomenon. And I think those who talk about war are playing with fire. They should see what war does in other countries, where war is unleashed among citizens. There's nothing there that is benefited by anyone. We've seen it, literally myself and the DP has seen it in countries like South Sudan. War is just a road towards attrition, towards suffering, towards everything that is wrong in the human development area of things. So we should never talk about war. And I would say that that should actually be the language that should be banned.
But it seems that some within the president's own governing party are defying his call to stop the war talk.
Comrades, this is a very serious war that we're involved in. Comrades, this is a war. This is a struggle. And many leaders in the continent, they were killed, they were assassinated for standing up and champion the aspirations of their people.
Ramaphosa appealed to South Africans to foster tolerance and unity in diversity. Vuyani Green, SABC News, Parliament.
The Hawks are investigating how Enlightened Christian Gathering Church leader Prophet Shepherd Bushiri and his wife managed to defy their bail conditions and flee to their home country, Malawi. The couple and two other accused were arrested last month on charges of fraud, money laundering and theft worth more than 102 million rand. They were granted 200,000 rand bail each last week and had to report to their nearest police station every Monday and Friday. The couple released a statement this morning confirming that they had fled to Malawi. In a statement, the Bushiris say there have been many attempts to have them and their family members killed. Earlier on, we spoke to Hawks spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Katlego Mogale.
We are investigating, as we became aware when he was supposed to come and report at the station as per his bail condition and that of his wife, that they will make sure that they find at the station and then confirm that they are still in the country.
Right.
And when they did not do that, that's when we began with ascertaining as to what has transpired. And at this point, we are investigating the failure around them not complying with the court orders.
Right. So just correct me if I'm wrong. With regards to the bail conditions, they were to report to a police station on Mondays and Fridays between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., correct?
Correct.
So you knew about them not being here, or they didn't report to this police station yesterday at 6 p.m., correct?
Yes.
What has happened since? What sort of investigations has taken place since yesterday, 6 p.m.?
I believe we cannot divulge as to what has transpired yesterday, since we found out that they did not comply with the bail condition. And it is this part of the investigation that we do not want to reveal.
All right.
But we were aware of those activities as of yesterday.
Right. So let's just talk a bit about this. I understand that investigations are at its early stage. You knew that they didn't report to the police station yesterday at 6 p.m. What is the plausible scenarios here, Colonel, with regards to some of the ways that they could have left South Africa? What can you tell us with regards to this?
I think it's a bit premature that we now speculate as to what could have transpired. Until we are confirming that this is what transpired, we will be able to inform the media as such.
Have you reached out to your counterparts in Malawi to confirm this?
I think that is a process that is not going to be dealt with by the Hawks per se, but I believe eventually that's where our route is taking.
Are you saying it's not going to be dealt with by the Hawks? Whose area is this?
There is processes that you must follow in order to ascertain whether or not there is a fugitive in a specific country that you are looking for.
Spoke to our foreign editor, Sophie Mokoena, about Bushiri leaving the country.
There are now confirmed reports from his legal team that he is currently in Malawi, as it was reported in a statement that was released on social media. But to ensure that the facts are correct, verification was done with the attorney or the lawyer, and it has been since confirmed that he is in Malawi. Yes, indeed, the departure of Bushiri in South Africa comes at a time where South Africa was hosting the president of Malawi, President Lazarus Chakwera, but it is not clear whether he was involved in this. It hasn't been confirmed. It hasn't been said by anybody that perhaps he was involved in the in the process of ensuring that Bushiri is able to leave the country. Media and journalists in general, we are still doing investigations. In the first place, what we need to really investigate is how did he get hold of a document that can assist him to cross the border. That is, of course, the passport, and what kind of passport he did use to cross the border. Secondly, which border did he use? Was it an airport, immigration, or it was one of the borders that we know where you use your road or the rail? So, secondly, then you have to speak to Home Affairs to check whether they are investigating all these borders, what happened. And then you have to ask the police. They had his passport. His passport is with the police. Those passports, and the people must remember that it was clear in court that he had lots and lots of passports, and some of them were diplomatic passports.
Right.
And therefore, this is a person who had capacity to access diplomatic documents. And therefore, he could have gotten another passport that he didn't hand in, or perhaps he was able to get another passport quickly. Whether it was an ordinary passport, a South African passport, or another country, or Malawi, these are the things that must be investigated. Secondly, the Justice Department, we have to find out whether there is an extradition treaty between South Africa and Malawi, and therefore, if there's one, are they going to evoke that quickly so that he comes back?
Right.
And then the other issue, Interpol will have to be brought in to assist in dealing with issues of implementing the extradition treaty, and perhaps to ensure that he is back in the country. But this is going to take time. It is an embarrassment, a huge embarrassment to South Africa. This is a huge embarrassment, particularly for the Department of Home Affairs, the Department of Safety and Security, and of course the Department of Justice. Right. Therefore, these three departments will have to explain what happened and where was this done. Which border did he use to cross to Malawi?
Yeah, as I said,
it is really an embarrassment, because it comes at a time where the president of Malawi was in the country, and the president of Malawi was there with our own President Ramaphosa. And now the pictures that are trending and now doing the rounds, people are trying to link this. Right. And it is a real embarrassment.
Sophie, do we know if President Chakwera is still in the country, still in South Africa, or has he left?
There's a statement that was released by his office, or the State House, or the presidency, late last night, where he's talking about how his plane was delayed and all that. And therefore now another suspicion is, why was this plane delayed? You know, you can't really make sense of what's been said in that statement.
All right, and just a reminder that the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services has responded to all that is happening by saying that Malawi is a signatory of the SADC protocol and other legal instruments on extraditions, and saying that we will not hesitate to invoke these provisions and instruments to assist law enforcement agencies to extradite fugitives of justice. We'll certainly be awaiting that. Let's move on then to other news. Two explosions hit